Ralston, we know we're on Fitz, but this is something that has been on my mind for a couple of weeks, and I have to put it to you. Ralston, and I've been saying for years, a long time we talk, and you've been saying that Dr. Nigel Clark was running the economy in favor of our banks.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw where Fitz Jackson brought table legislation in the parliament.
Bless up my people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this one, my people, we seen 3 weeks ago in an interview between Colin Bell and Ralston Hyman, the financial analyst, basically letting us know, my people, that former Minister of Finance Nigel Clark was basically running the economy in favor of the banks. I was seeing where Fitz Jackson from the People's National Party side, my people, had basically done a motion in Parliament to get the banks to reduce some of those fees. If you put in money, you have to pay a fee. If you withdraw your own money, you have to pay a fee. If you want a manager's check, you have to pay a fee. There's so much fees attached to the bank system right now, my people. It's very sad and sickening to see that instead of getting a little interest on your money, they have to be drawing this and that, my people, out of your very own money. And this very same government shut down that motion. They voted against whatever Fitz Jackson had done on behalf of the Jamaican people. However, I'm going to hear what Fitz Jackson said and what he actually did. And then we're going to hear Ralston Hyman letting us know what exactly Nigel Clark was doing.
The Bank of Nova Scotia is not in breach of the law for charging encashment fees. Justice Crescentia Brown Beckford found that the practice is not in breach of the Bills of Exchange Act nor the Banking Services Act. The judge also found that the bank's right to charge a fee for the service in question is, however, subject to the obligations set by the Code of Conduct under the Banking Services Act. The court also determined that changes to the law, the practice of the banking industry, and the protection of the consumers of banking services are matters for the legislature and not the court. Speaking with Radio Jamaica News this afternoon following the judgment, Mr. Jackson said there is a sufficient basis for an appeal.
We did not get the judgment that we expect. However, I believe that the merit of the case still stands, and based on the initial perusal of the judgment by the legal team and briefing with myself, I am satisfied that there is an abundance of provision in the judgment about addressing the matter of fee. In this case, encashment fee lies in the Parliament. It must be noted that there is a bill which I tabled in the Parliament, which explicitly prohibits the charging of encashment fees, among other fees, which are unfairly and unjustly being leveled against the banking public in Jamaica.
Opposition Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson. Meanwhile, the judge awarded costs to the bank, but attorney Anthony Williams says he believes the BNS should not be paid 100% of cost.
Primarily on the basis that it was not a matter that benefited only Mr. Jackson, but the public at large. It was a public interest matter that certainly would have impacted and did impact the Bank of Jamaica, Bank of Nova Scotia, the banking industry, and certainly the Attorney General. There were issues to be cleared up in relation to banking fees. And before I say anything further, I must commend Mr. Fitz Jackson for his audacious move in single-handedly taking on a giant like BNS, and by extension, the Attorney General's chambers and Bank of Jamaica in this matter. No other politician I know have the guts to do that, and I must commend Mr. Fitz Jackson for this bold move for the interest and benefit of Jamaica.
Attorney Anthony Williams. The Bank of Jamaica and the Attorney General were included in the matter as interested parties.
Ralston, we know we're on Fitz, but this is something that has been on my mind for a couple of weeks, and I have to put it to you. Ralston, and I've been saying for years, a long time we talk, and you've been saying that Dr. Nigel Clark was running the economy in favor of our banks.
Mm-hmm.
We also saw where Fitz Jackson brought table legislation in the parliament to change some of the ways the bank deals with the people. It went to a vote, and the present administration voted against it. So they voted in favor of the banks to continue to charge us for deposits and withdrawal and to keep our money. Now, we have seen where the Prime Minister, because the chairman of the Integrity Commission said what they put in the report is not opinion. They are facts. So we see where the Integrity Commission said the Prime Minister is actively trading in stocks and bonds, doing business with the banks and seen as one bank as a premium client. Does that now come back to what you were saying, that they were running the country in the favor of the banks? Are those
So
some
we
of
all
the...
knew that. We all knew that when the Fitz Jackson bill came up, everybody in the government came to Parliament and voted against the bill. You with me? We also, right now, even greater evidence right now, the Bank of Jamaica recently reduced the benchmark rate or the signal rate from 7% per annum to 6.5% per annum. And no bank has announced any rate reduction to any of their clients. Instead, they have raised the fees. Nigel Clark spent a whole lot of time in the Parliament, and he never called upon the banks to reduce their lending rates to their clients. What is that telling you? The economy is in a recession, and the banks have not reduced their benchmark rates. The Federal Reserve Board, the American Central Bank, which is the most powerful independent central bank in the world, reduced their rates by 50 basis points. The IMF and the World Bank says this now gives countries like Jamaica a chance to reduce their rates in order to accelerate growth. And the banks, led by Mrs. Audrey Tugwell anyway, the president of the Bankers Association, none of them reduced their lending rates. Instead, they reduced their fees.
They increased their fees.
Every single one, including the miscellaneous one. And the minister spoke in Parliament, and the Prime Minister has been going around making all kinds of promises. And none of them called upon the banks to reduce their lending rates, fully knowing that you can't talk about economic growth with this kind of lending rates in the banking system. So it tells you. Simple.
Ralston, let's go back to FinSat now. We could go back in.
And there's a correlation between FinSac and banks, because it's the banks that created the problem with FinSac are part of the problem. So they are the ones, it's again the banking system.
And some people, that is the prosperity, for some. Or that's the prosperity that they speak of, my people. Only the big boys at the top benefit out of them prosperity. I wouldn't need an eyeglass to see that, my people. Right? I even seen the Prime Minister take on a platform, I believe, down there in Enan Town at a divisional conference. And he's saying that prosperity for some is when they fix a road or two. Can you imagine that, my people? That's what came out of the Prime Minister's mouth. When $15,000 for minimum wage can't suffice the people, and him a talk about fixing a road is prosperity for some. What is prosperity for you, Prime Minister? Anyhow, my people, when you hear it, when you digest it for yourself, drop on the comments in the comment section. Let me hear what you say. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel on the road to 30K. Share out the videos, them, my people. Notification shout out goes to Devon Fletcher. Big up yourself, Devon. As well as Godson. As well as George Lewis. Big up on yourself. Thanks for the continued support. And I just want to highlight, for my community, for those who are interacting most with the channel. Big up to all the names that are scrolling on the bottom of this. Get this video to at least 4,000 likes, my people. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.